Go live. Sorry. I got my countdown wrong. My fault. Apologies. Right, Social Club is back. Ask the Club. Hello. Deluded Gooners with me. CJ making his debut on the Social Club couch.
Thanks for having me.
Sam is here from United People's TV.
Hi,
and
everybody.
Rory. Me, Sam and Rory have already been discussing Slaven Bilic getting the sack and who should be in the running. You should go and check out that video. Peter Taylor, 40-1, is one of the options.
Don't put your money on it.
We were talking about what went wrong there and who would be the right answer for them. David Moyes, apparently. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on that. This show, Social Club, it's about guys getting together and having a chat. We are very proud to be in association with the charity Calm. Suicide, unfortunately, is the biggest killer for men under the age of 45, and often it can be because they don't get out there and talk about their feelings. So if you want to talk about your feelings, we'll put a link in the description to Calm's website. Go and check them out. This is Ask the Club, so get your questions in. We'll read out a few very soon. But let's kick off with the title of this video and a question from Victor Chan. Why did Wenger drop Lacazette on the weekend? Does Iwobi really offer that much more in terms of his defensive work rate? And generally, why is Wenger not playing a guy he spent 50 million on?
Where do I start? Firstly, in regards to him not starting, it's probably because, like what we tried to do against Liverpool, we wanted Alexis through the middle, so it's a bit robust, quick decisions on the counter-attack, press them high. Personally, I don't understand why Lacazette can't do that, but that's just Wenger's thinking. I still think Wenger's very old-fashioned in the sense that he likes players to adjust to their new surroundings, and he likes to force this whole adapting period. That's why Lacazette's typically not playing 90 minutes. So that's probably what I'd say, to be honest with you. And to be fair, he is backed up because there are some incidences he looks knackered, but I can't understand it. We paid 52 million for him to make the difference in big games. No clue why he didn't start. And when he came off the bench and scored, Wenger has to hold his hands up for that.
You can put him out wide.
Out wide as well, but to be fair, I don't like him out wide because we brought the man. Of course, he can play there, but play through the middle.
It's madness. I mean, from the outside, it looks like madness to have a player who you've brought on, made the impact that you desperately desired, given it a little bit longer, and then remodeled it, put him on a wing to allow Oliver Giroud to go through the middle.
I can't stand it. I mean, I hate Giroud coming off the bench. Don't get me wrong, Giroud saved us a couple of times, but it's just, can you picture being behind in the game and seeing someone slower than a tortoise trying to run in behind? And when he tries to take crosses, it's even worse.
Could they play together as a two?
Yeah, they could. It should be an option. When you look at City, sometimes when they go with Gab Jesus and Kun, it should really be an option, little and large. There was actually a case years ago for Theo and Giroud to do it, so I'd like to see it, but will Wenger do it? I mean, there's a case for, I'd like all three in Giroud, Lacazette and Alexis to play at least until January and see what we can do because,
With Lacazette, though, it's not just the fact that he wasn't playing Lacazette. It was the fact that he was starting Alexis Sanchez against Manchester City, the team that he tried to force a move to.
His head is not going to be there.
It becomes even more mad.
So there's two ways of looking at it. You could go, if he wants to move there, he'll be...
Play well.
These guys have ego.
Put himself in the shot window.
Yeah, but realistically, the move's already sorted by now, if he is going to go there. So his head's not there. Like, it's already, clearly they've fought a year behind.
Sanchez doesn't have to prove anything. He's a free agent in the summer. He can literally walk away saying, fuck you, I'm wrong.
And you can see that in his performances.
He doesn't have to earn a move.
Sadly.
I watched the game, he was terrible.
Terrible.
Guaranteed, but I don't think it was through the want of a lack of effort. I think he was up front in that central position, and he wasn't given the ball. When he was given the ball, he had Fernandinho on his case straight away. The problem I have with it, and this is why I do not understand why Lacazette didn't start, is because if it's down to kind of work rate and going forward and backwards, and then also having some defensive stability, one, you brought in Coquelin, that makes sense. But then the three in front should have been Sanchez on the left, Ramsey in the middle and Ozil on the right, because Sanchez will do the work.
You could even drop Ozil. You could even drop Ozil.
Though, that you've just said there, gets spanked. It's so attacking. I mean, it's a lovely side. It's a beautifully gifted side. I imagine the football they play would be wonderful to watch.
It's down to being retarded. But like, it's just retarded. We are retarded. Like, we do not work. Clearly, we don't work on team shape. We just work on the glamorous sides. The whole YouTube clips. It's all fun and games going forward, contributing, interlinking play. But that's not how you win football. Even when we were 2-1 yesterday, we're 2-1 behind. Instantly they had a corner. Nobody's marking from corners. We're getting hit 4 versus 3. Is this a side with any defensive bones in their body? We're not playing to the whistle either.
Steve Bold is there.
He's crippled. To be fair, I used to think he was crippled. I mean, he was stupid, but now I think he's crippled because he can't. He surely, with Wenger's influence, he can't have anything to say. He can't have any influence. Wenger's somewhat of, how do I put it into words? He's like the master. You can't really do anything around him. He's the king of the ship.
He's there as his capacity as a defensive coach.
Yeah.
Is that what he does on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, but Wenger Wenger don't like strong personalities. Yeah, it's not. Wenger don't like strong personalities. Dare I even to say Wenger don't like coaches who can actually coach because they'll challenge him. Well, that's backed up because there's no one really in a senior position. There's no Vieira. There's none of these strong personalities here. It's just a play crash at this club now. And that's why we're in this way, sadly. And it hurts me to say this, guys, but yeah, we are.
Joe, we probably should have done this at the start of the video. Wenger in or Wenger out? Out, right. Really? That's not even an answer, mate.
How can you answer it? How can you answer it?
That far,
no, but how can you answer it? It's like Wenger. Yeah, it should be Wenger out. But when you look at the dynamics in the top of this club, is it really Wenger out? It's everybody out. Like,
right.
So yeah, Wenger out. To answer your question, I still love you, Wenger. But yeah,
brilliant. You went mad. You went right into him. Wenger. Well,
no, because you actually made me consider like everything that Wenger's done.
I've got to sack him. Right, let's move on to the next question. Paul Machin, the Paul Machin.
Who's that?
I
can't recognise the name.
No idea. Who is the next great Chelsea reject? Salah, De Bruyne, Lukaku, all class at the moment. Who's next?
I think it's a good question. I think something there's been a change at the club though. There was a time when we were off players, so a lot of those players were sold under Mourinho. It was Mourinho deciding that those players, De Bruyne, Lukaku, weren't right for the club, and shipping them off. We have someone at the helm now who's more focused on youth development, as you can see by Charlie Musonda getting in the side, as you can see by Andreas Christensen getting in the side, and hopefully we've learnt from the mistakes made. De Bruyne is the obvious one, but equally, we broke our necks to sign Romelu Lukaku, which is embarrassing considering we had him at the club, and then we lost the fight to get hold of him. But I'd like to think that we've learnt from those mistakes. The one that does seem to be a possibility is Musonda. Because
so tell people about Charlie Musonda.
So Charlie Musonda is one of the most gifted kids I've ever seen play. Came on, made his debut at Stamford Bridge about a month ago. We played against Nottingham Forest. I think we won 6-0.
He bagged, didn't it?
Musonda played. He played well. He scored. He also celebrated. It was a wonderful thing to see because I think there's the way that football is at the moment, the way that the Premier League is set up, the disparity between us and people watching this and the Premier League player is so far.
Yeah.
But Charlie Musonda seemed to bridge that gap because he did what I did. The day that he was playing, he did what I would do if I were as good at football as he is. He was basically like, Charlie Musonda was me, he's just better at football. He tweeted that morning, he's like, the day I've been waiting for. He put it on Instagram, a picture of his boots in the dressing room, like the day I've been waiting 6 years for. I was like, oh man, that's wicked.
Yeah.
Then he went and played and he scored. And he basically just ran towards, I think, the section of the stadium where his mum and the family were sitting. And he didn't even get that far. He just collapsed on the floor. He did a Charlie George and just hit the deck and just like celebrated his goal. Just couldn't believe it. And he went off to a standing ovation, which he was like, it took him 5 minutes to leave the pitch. Saying all that, he's looked very good. He's played for the first team, as I said there. He seems ready to play more, and he seems to believe that he's ready. And perhaps it's such a competitive situation at Chelsea, and I feel that if he really does push this any further, he could potentially leave. Because effectively what he's saying, I need to be playing first team football. And for that to happen, Pedro, World Cup winning Pedro,
smashes in the top corner, Pedro,
needs to be dropped.
Yeah. I guess
which isn't going to happen
anytime soon. The difficult thing you've got there with him is that's the mentality of an elite player. Yeah. You kind of need that confidence.
Absolutely.
But then at the same time,
there's a happy medium though, isn't there? Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right, James. You do need to have that belief. You need to be like when a boxer goes into a fight, and it's like, I'm going to knock this bloke's fight. Like, they just believe, and they do need that to be the very best. You have to have that, and he's got that. He's got the belief. I just think that he's so young. Just give it 18 months.
Yeah, stay calm.
Stay calm.
But then again,
also, if Chelsea's season goes well, right? If Chelsea's season goes as we hope it's going to
get chances.
We'll play 55 games this season. All being well, we're still in every competition that we've entered.
So there's games to be had.
There's games to be had. So just bide your time.
Bide your time.
Exactly.
But to be honest, as an outsider looking in, I can understand his frustrations because he's had 18 months at Betis, relative success. He got recalled in January last year, somewhat on the bench and in and amongst the first team for a year.
And they were desperate to sign him.
Yeah. So if he's in and amongst the first team at Chelsea because he got recalled, I can't blame him for being frustrated because you're getting a taste of it. If you're travelling and you're doing all these things, you're bound to become impatient. I do get it. You do have to be peaceful and patient and wait your time. But he's 20, 21, and I like Sancho. Of course, they're two different ages. I like players that take their futures into their own hands and are proactive, rather than at 23 or so look back and I'm a failure because I stayed here or whatever.
I guess it's difficult, isn't it? Because you'll get assurances that your time will come, son, and all that stuff. But sometimes it doesn't work out. If you're part of the Chelsea staff, you point at Christensen and go,
well, this is it.
Yeah.
This is
it's easier for them sorts to get.
The only reason Christensen played against Man United was because he fell out with David Luiz.
Yeah.
No, Christensen's played a lot of football this season already.
But it's about taking your chance. Same way.
David Luiz, the fallout. Look, David Luiz would probably play that position if the fallout didn't happen. And I think the fact that Ethan Ampadu, which is another example of this,
like him a lot.
Ethan Ampadu, 17 years old, was on the bench yesterday. David Luiz wasn't. So of course the David Luiz issue has had an effect on the youth, because you've got Ampadu on the bench and you've got Christensen in the first team. But the difference now, and I really hope that this does have an impact, and to answer Paul's question, hope that there isn't one. And I think that what you can point towards now is any Chelsea youth player who 2 years ago, a Chelsea youth player would go, I'm going to leave because I'm not going to get a chance. You go, no, you will get a chance. And there's no example to use. You go, well, John Terry made his debut in 1998.
yeah.
John Terry was a youth product, but not since 1998.
Are you as good as John?
Have we produced anyone? You know, 1998, these kids, there was nobody really has come through. A few here and there and whatever, but no. Whereas now, Charlie Masonda is in the first team. Andreas Christensen is playing for Chelsea in the Champions League.
Considered as a real option. Real option in the side, yeah.
So with a bit of luck, we will have learnt our lessons from De Bruyne.
It's better than no example.
But it's easier for defenders to get chances because Masonda's a bit unique.
You only need. I mean, out of all of our, so we've been winning Champions Leagues at that level,
killing it.
Killing it
between you and City, just killing it all the time.
But I mean, you'd be really optimistic if you produce one player for your first team every 5 years. That is an incredibly successful youth setup.
One every 5 years is a bit of a stretch.
I don't think that.
One every 5 years.
I can't give you that.
What you think? You think 1 every 5 years is
probably one every two. One every 2, 3 should be. Every club should be aiming for that.
Champions League
one every 5 years.
Every 2, 3.
They bring through one guy in 5 years.
But you don't make it at that. Like making it at that.
I see what he's saying. He's talking about like considered as a real option, not just
Chelsea. To go on and make what do we think? 50 caps, 50 appearances for Chelsea.
Well, like Victor
to go on and make 50 appearances for Chelsea. It's so hard.
I know it's hard, but
one it's hard being an attacking player as well.
It's a long stretch to say it's a success. I say it will be doing its job, but it's not a success.
1 in 20 years.
Sorry,
I know that.
1 in 5 years for Chelsea is
definitely
5 years for any.
It's progress.
No, because if I'm Arsenal, I want one. I'm being honest. I know we're crap and we need to get to success. I would like one every 2 years because I'm actually on Arsenal's case with that.
What I'd like and what.
Yeah, I hear you. You're being realistic. If it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen.
But who? I can't think of another. I know Manchester United have a very rich history in this. But Arsenal haven't produced a kid for the first team once.
That's why I'm angry at them, because we've gone behind in that. Iwobi's there, Bellerin's there, a couple players. Nelson's playing games.
Wilshire's coming through.
Oh yeah, but now you're just naming players. I'm talking about consistency.
Chesney at one point.
Your measure here was 50 caps. Your measure here was 50 caps. 50 appearances. Like all the players that we've just named there have got at least 50 appearances for Arsenal.
And I'm even onto their case. I believe Arsenal should, because the players are there 1 every 2 years. This is something even Glazides has actually said himself, 1 every 2, 3 years. So I can't see why.
I think the trouble is to get in the Chelsea team.
You have to be a defensive player.
You have to be the best in the world.
Yeah.
You have to be the best.
I think it's so hard being a 10 or whatever, like Masonda is, getting into that side. I even read he was training as a wing back at a point to get into the side.
Well, because effectively the people he's competing with,
even Bogger as well.
He's competing with
one
of the best players in the world, Eden Hazard.
He ain't gonna get that.
Pedro, who's literally won there's no room in his house for all the trophies he's won, and Willian, who people like to give a bit of stick to. But
I can't understand it personally. I like him. I take him.
Let's head to the comments. We got any questions or good comments?
Well, a lot of people want to hear Rory talk about Emenalo.
Emenalo, he's just quit.
Emenalo's just quit. I know it's this can only be seen. There's two sides to every coin, but for me, this is good news because I think what this is, it's a vote of confidence for Antonio Conte. That's what this is. The breakdown in the relationship between Emenalo and the club stems from the hostility that was apparent between Conte and the club. So the fact that Emenalo has left is only good news.
Because it means the club's backing Conte.
Well, it means that we're finally backing a man. Like Chelsea need to do everything they can to keep hold of Antonio Conte. anything.
Does that mean you'll be serious in the transfer market? Because I do feel Chelsea have been a bit iffy in the last windows by your own standards as well.
Yeah, we have been.
By
you're
your
right.
Own, by your own standards.
By our own standards, it wasn't a particularly successful transfer window for us. However, we did break our own transfer.
Yeah, you went and done the business at the end.
We bought Morata. We also bought one of the most exciting midfielders in Bakayoko.
Good sign.
Rudiger was a very option for the defensive line. It wasn't quite the nightmare scenario that people seem to think it was, that transfer window, but equally it wasn't the transfer window of 2006 when we'd already won the league and we went out and bought Michael Essien, and it wasn't that sort of. But getting rid of Emenalo now, I mean, Emenalo's been pretty much a hate figure from particularly the match-going support at Chelsea. So him leaving I'm pleased about, but the reason I'm really pleased is because it's something that I think will help secure the future of Antonio Conte at the club. And whatever happens, like, I love David Luiz, but if there's a problem here between David Luiz and Antonio Conte,
then Luiz.
I love Luiz. Luiz played on one leg and won us a European Cup. I'll love him forever. But it's all about Antonio Conte.
Manager first.
But then again, just before you carry on, didn't Conte say something about he doesn't see himself staying a long period in England? He said he yearns to go back to Italy and stuff like that. I don't know if that was for a new deal or whatever.
He said he wants to go back to Italy, which is absolutely, that's...
He's Italian.
He's Italian.
Yeah,
he's
of course.
Italian. He's Italian, and it's beautiful. It's a wonderful country. So I could have some of that as well. I want to go back to Italy, swanning about on a Vespa, having a jumper delicately tied around my shoulders.
I've always had to want to
Sounds great.
You do that now.
Literally this morning, you came in with a pink sweater around your neck.
Right.
Not yet.
Let's get into a couple more of your questions. Super Tiger, good name. Considering last season's successes, does Sam think that Jose deserves another season if United go trophyless this season?
It's not even a question of Jose Mourinho leaving this club at the end of the season. Jose Mourinho is going to be here for his 3 years minimum. And if inside that 3 years he can win the Premier League, the club will give him a new contract offer. And that's something that's happening at the moment. So I spoke to Rory about it in the last couple of weeks. Mourinho's started to be Mourinho in sort of accusing the fans of not getting behind Lukaku, the old shush gesture, whether that was to the media or to the fans themselves. But it's just the expectations that the fans have of the football, which is what you're talking about, the United way, and Mourinho being so
stuck,
just on his own path. I don't care what you all say about your criticism. I'm doing exactly what you're saying about boxers being in the ring. Believe. He believes in his own way, and he'll continue on that path. But the idea of getting rid of Mourinho, even after, if we finish second or third this year, not even entering my mind personally, but there clearly has to be an improvement. Man United's biggest weakness at the moment is our record against the top six away from home. We've had 7 games under Mourinho. We've won none, and we've only scored 1 goal.
Have you seen the record that goes across his time
and
at Chelsea?
Yeah, the four games previously as well. So there's question marks. This is what people thought about Mourinho. Oh, is he finished? Is he not the special one anymore?
No, he's definitely
still. But for me, it's complete bullshit because he's won the Europa League. United as a club had never won that competition. It's the only trophy that was missing from our cabinet. He won that.
Who's the only other English club to have won the full set?
Don't know, mate.
Anyway, next question. Max Payne, probably the last one. No Liverpool fans here, but I think we can still answer it. Should Liverpool replace Firmino in the summer and get a new striker? I think the wider aspect of this for Liverpool is that Chelsea got Morata, United have got Lukaku, Arsenal got Lacazette now. When
if he plays,
Aguero and
so on
Jesus,
and so
yeah, exactly. Are Liverpool missing that player?
Of course they are. Firmino's doing his thing, they're all doing their things, but they don't have a number 9, and there are games you see it, because you see Firmino dropping deep. That makes it easier for centre-halves. They do need a number 9. Who that 9 is, not a clue personally, but they do need one.
Come on.
How's that kid doing? Do you remember they had a kid?
Woodburn.
I think he plays as a cam or a wing or something. He's pretty decent.
Right.
But he's a long way.
In the list of Liverpool's problems,
the back line's the first thing, of course. The back
buying
line's
another bloody
error.
attacker as there's the top. Their attack is the only part of their team. I go, wow, that's actually pretty exciting.
Yeah,
and whether or not that needs another 9 to improve.
I think that you can play when you're as gifted as you've got Salah on one wing, you've got Firmino through the middle, you've got Coutinho hanging about, you've got Mane, who for me is their best player.
Yeah,
everybody's raving about Coutinho, and Coutinho is going to be sold to Barcelona for an exorbitant amount of money. You think he's not even the best player in the Liverpool team, let alone when you're blessed with that sort of attacking front line, I'm not convinced. Look, a number 9, you know, somebody like Morata playing amongst those players would score bundles of goals. But I'm not convinced that you need it. Like, do you remember when Barcelona played with that false 9? At one point they had Fabregas up there. Didn't stop them scoring goals.
Spain, like on the way to winning the World Cup, they played with a false 9 as well.
There's a great stat for Firmino last season that he, I think he made more interceptions than Cahill, than like...
He worked very hard for his
He got
side.
more interceptions than basically anyone. So there can be another use of that central striker, I guess, if those other guys are chipping in with so many goals.
Exactly.
So it's like, what you want from him, isn't it?
Yeah, but who is grabbing 20 goals at Liverpool? Like, for as good as their attacking players, I believe that's a benchmark to win a
They've
league.
got 4 that get 15.
Yeah, but Arsenal have had this nonsense at the same time for many years.
You think you need a focal point?
Yeah, you need a focal. There's no way around it.
But
you need
you're
a
more
focal
dangerous
point.
if you have 4 that...
Yeah, no, I'm not in it. You have that in addition, but number 9s make the difference in big games. Like you saw yesterday, Hazard was doing his thing, but who made the difference? It was Morata. I honestly believe you need that, but I agree with him. You need to improve the back foot.
That's a grand lesson. That's a good point.
Too much knowledge, this guy. God.
So check out that.
Where's Flav?
Do you know
I think that's the best thing you've ever said.
Do you know what Flav would have said?
You're killing me.
He said, do they need a new striker? He would have gone, yeah, they need Sam Allardyce.
You're like killing me.
Right. So the Slum Village video, go and check that out. We're talking about who the options are. There's another social club coming out tomorrow as well about who is the best of the rest. If Man City are the best team, and are they the best team? We discussed that as well. But who is the next best team? You can go and check that out tomorrow. Go subscribe to Delete
Oh yeah, thank you, man. Check me out.
There you go. Go subscribe to CFC Fan TV and United People's TV. Subscribe to Ball Street, of course. What, did I get it wrong?
No, he's just looking at me and laughing.
Looking at me laughing. And also Volley, it's a new social media app. It's very cool. Ball Street on there. We post great original content all the time. A bit like Instagram, but basically it's all sport, right? It's all football.
Yeah, just pure football.
Loads of cool people on there as well. So go check out Volley, download the app. That's in the description. And we'll see you next week. Actually, we'll be up north for Social Club again. Stop laughing.
That was his fault.